Thank you. On behalf of the City of Stafford and the Stafford Historical Society, I want to welcome each of you here today for this event. And to the members of the families of the previous mayors, our special appreciation for you being here today. I would like at this time to recognize our current city council and any prior council members that are here. So Mayor Pro Tem Ken Matthew is somewhere over here. Councilman Wynn Guerra is somewhere. He's very back row. He's not Baptist. He's on the back row. Councilwoman Virginia Rosas. Let me keep this straight in my mind. Councilman Don Jones. Don't see him. Councilwoman Alice Chin. And Councilman Xavier Herrera. Did I miss anybody? All right. As prior council members, I saw Councilwoman Annette Cangelosi and back there, and Councilman John Rose. John didn't get enough with the city, so he went over to supply water and sewer. So, did I miss anybody? That's the only ones I saw. All right, thank you. Several months and months ago, Councilwoman Rosas planted this idea in our mind that we need to do something to recognize the prior mayors of Stafford and the future mayors of Stafford, just pictures, plaques, or something to keep a historical perspective so that they just didn't fall by the wayside. So council agreed with her. She got with the Stafford Historical Society. They brainstormed and put this whole thing together, and we want to thank the Historical Society for getting us to this point. Ms. Williams. As I was trying to figure out things to say and do about this event, and I was looking at various documents and talking to people, and the Historical Society in 2006 did a big plaque when we commemorated the first 50 years of Stafford. And as I was looking at that plaque and remembering some of the names and think about it, in 50 years, this city had 3 mayors, 39 council members. And a council is made up of 5, and then somewhere at the very end of that transition, we added a 6th council members. So this year marks the 65th anniversary of Stafford. And I was thinking about how many people not only personally knew all the mayors, but in their lifetime, they lived the entire history of Stafford. Because there's a few in this room that are just a day over 65. And some of them were born maybe in a house in Stafford, but probably in the hospital in Sugar Land, and then came back to Stafford the next day. So there's some people here today who personally not only knew the mayors, but lived the entire history of the city of Stafford as a governmental entity. And so hopefully at the appropriate time we can get some comments, and I'm sure knowing some of them, they have some interesting comments to make which will add a little levity to this deal, because they know the inner workings and inner sanctums and things like that. And also there'll be an opportunity for members of the family and others to speak. I first became aware of Stafford in November of 1966, when I had to drive from Memorial Park down Main Street all the way out to Stafford, Texas to go to Weatherford Farms. I and my staff were putting a Thanksgiving display in the lobby of Houston City Hall. Now, how I drew that job, if they knew me, they would have never assigned it to me, but thank God my crew had been doing it for years, and I just said, what do we do? And that's what we did. So you've got to have good people. Little did I know on that drive out here in November of 1966 that someday this would be my home, and had no idea, no desire, no anything of the other things which have transpired in my political life. So you never know what's going to happen. And the one thing that I've learned through life, you better watch what you say to who, because you may not know who they are until it hits the fan, and then you're going to wish you hadn't have said it to so-and-so about so-and-so. So that's life. Stafford then and now is absolutely no comparison. I started working in Missouri City in 1973. I moved to Stafford in 1975. And as I drove up and down Murphy Road, right at the corner of Avenue E and 1092 was the city limit sign. And I won't hit it perfect, but the first number was 3,827 or something. That was in 1973. According to the latest census, we're a hair below 20,000. Thank goodness, because 20,000 is a governmental legal threshold that you can do things under 20, but if you go over 20, you got to start paying for some of them. And there's another one at 25,000, and that means you take over all the state highway traffic lights and signals, and you start paying for them instead of the state of Texas paying for them. So there's good and bad in being big and small. But in thinking back on that through all the years and everything we've been through, whether it's a city that's 65 years old or not, or a private business that started up 65 years ago, it takes a lot of people to make it go and be successful. And just think back in those first 50 years, 3 CEOs and 39 board members, if you will, transitioned out during that period of time. That was dedication, commitment, and vision. Now, there's one other key component, and I've said this many times. Since the day I got to town, I served on the water board for 3 years before I served on city council. There has always been a special bond in my mind between the people of Stafford, the businesses of Stafford, and their elected officials. And that's what makes us unique, that's what makes us successful, and makes us the city we are today. Now, through those 65 years, the primary group was Italian and agriculture. Just think about that. Today, and I was at a meeting last week, they have said, and I'll accept they, whoever they are, that Fort Bend County is now the most diverse county in the United States of America. Fort Bend County. And I'm going to say this again. Stafford is the most diverse city in Fort Bend County. We're not the largest, But you look at 25, 25, 25, 25 as the government judges everything. We're the closest to 25, 25, 25. So that makes us, this 7 square miles, the most diverse city in the United States of America. And that's something we need to be proud of and tout and get along with. So I'll get off my soapbox now. You didn't come here to hear me, I know that. But somebody said you got 5 minutes. I said, one thing you understand, when they hand me the mic, I got the mic. And I set the rules, and that's the way it is. So Ms. Williams, will you come and explain and talk to us why we're here today?
Well, first of all, I have to tell you that Virginia and I have had a great deal of pleasure making these plaques, also researching a lot of the history. Citizens of Stafford have been very fortunate to only have had 4 mayors as our leaders, and 4 of the very best, I might add. In 1956, the City of Stafford incorporated as a city. For the next 65 years, we have had excellent leadership. C.A. Wright was the first mayor and served 3 terms. During his term, the city created its basic political infrastructure and set up the municipal operations. He was responsible for installing the first Stafford street signs. Also during the mayor's tenure, an ordinance was adopted that limited the speed of trains through the city. He also protected the city against annexation and promoted commerce development. He made us an urbanized community. Our second mayor was A.J. Tony Jebbia. Tony first served as alderman and later decided to run for mayor. During his 2 terms as mayor, Stafford matured into a viable corporate community. Tony had an aggressive approach which resulted in several significant changes, including passage of the street and drainage improvements. He firmly believed the city could maintain a 60 to 40% ratio of business to housing, and that the citizens could lower their tax burden. Jebbia was also responsible for Texas Instruments to locate in Stafford in 1967. Third mayor and mayor for 50 plus years was Leonard Scarcella. The most significant accomplishment of his was the creation of the Stafford Municipal School District. He always said the safety of the Stafford students were his concern, and he certainly fought a courageous battle for 6 years to achieve this. The elimination of city property tax was another one of his goals. Mayor Scarcella was recognized throughout the area, both locally and statewide. Our present mayor, Cecil Willis, has been in office since December of 2020. Not new to politics, Cecil has served on city council for 36 years, and he also continues Leonard's open door policy. Using his even temperament, high ethical and professional standards, which have been instrumental in bringing balance to the city when he was elected to the position of mayor, the city has once again begun to thrive. Cecil believes in the relationship and partnership with the business community to expand and develop Stafford's future. Mayor Willis's vision is a cohesive one which encompasses the community and Stafford MSD. I now encourage you to if we can unveil the plaques. We encourage you to read the plaques in its entirety, as you can see how much each mayor gave to the city and also his accomplishments. At this time, we would like for members of the family to please stand, and if you would, come up here with me. The Jebbia family, I believe the Wright family could not attend. Anybody from the Scarcella family, as well as the Right, as well as the Willis family. Okay, so from the Jebbia family, we have Wilma Jebbia, Mark Jebbia, Jack Jebbia, and his wife Debbie.
We've got some more courts coming, so keep going.
Okay, from the court, oh, wait a minute. Let's see here, from the Scarcella family. We have JJ and Kenny Court, Charles and Jean Court. Sylvia, are you here? Please come up here, Sylvia. Whether you want to or not.
She was adopted into the family.
She was adopted, yeah. You were the one pushing that pen in his law office, we know, for all those years. All right, and then from the Willis family, of course, we have Shirlene, his wife, his daughter Nikki, and Terry. And her husband, Terry. Terry, okay. And we're glad to have all of you with us. Members of the Wright family could not make it in today.
If any members of the family want to say anything, and after the family finishes, I think we'd all like some of those people who've lived the 65 years of Stafford to make some brief remarks. You're first. You got to have.
Thank you. Thank all y'all for showing up. It's a great thing to come to Stafford, to live here, and have a career here. It was awesome mayors. My daddy was exceptional.
Amen.
He put all his forth towards the community. Sorry, I can't talk with it, Darren, but anyway, he put his forth towards the community. He's always worked hard for our benefits in the future. And I think a lot of us are reaping that now. Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna take a second to do a special recognition, and I know she doesn't want this, but I think it's so vital and so interesting, and it's driven the city for many years. But Wilma Jebbia designed the city seal that you see on top during the bicentennial, 4th of July. So thank you. You know, we're still living it, so thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank the City of Stafford for having us today for this particular presentation. I was born here in this city, and probably one of the oldest ones living that's still in the city. Unfortunately, J.P. Gordon and his wife Betty, they're in a facility because they had to move in there to get taken care of. I know JP is disappointed because he can't be here today. He'll be 91 on the 30th or 31st of this month. He was proud and is still proud of this city, as so I am. I made my living here, I raised my family here. I was born here, and I'm still here. I don't know how much longer, but as long as I'm living, I'll be here. My forward address is going to be Forest Park, Lawndale. And I guess I'll be there longer than I will here. I've loved the city. I can't say anything negative about it. I knew all the mayors, beginning with Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright was an unusual gentleman, but a good man. I knew Tony Jebbia for numerous years. He's also a good man. We also have one that was a mayor for a very short period of time. When Mr. Jebbia resigned, Mike Ruffino took over. And then after that, it was history. 50 years as mayor is a long time. I want to share one thing with you all about the mayor that I hold in my heart. It's always been great. He and I were at the FFA banquet, which Mr. Jebbia was part of. I mean, he was FFA sponsor at that time, or the teacher. And we were sitting at a dinner table, and Mr. Scarcella was sitting just to my left and across the table, and there was one other person sitting at this banquet type table, you know, the ones you have in the schools. I wrote him a note on a napkin, and I slid it over to him, and I held my hand on the note, and I said to him, Mayor, I think the next election we have, we're going to need to put term limits on all the mayor and the council. I don't want to try to explain the look on his face. When he opened the note up, it said, I don't think the mayor should have any more than 25 terms. He only had about 12 or 13 at that time. If I had known that he was not going to live but past that point, I might have said 30. But I think we've got a good mayor taking over. I've been knowing Cecil since he came to Stafford. He's a good man. He's going to do everything in his power to make this a better city. There's no doubt in my mind. And I think that of all the council as far as that's concerned. But thanks for having me here today. I don't get around as well as I used to, but I still get around. Thank you.
JJ, you or Kim? Anybody else? All right.
I think Cecil's talked enough for the Willis family, so we'll leave it at that point.
Let me do one group picture before y'all.
I heard one gentleman instructing the photographers how to operate, so I'm going to call on that gentleman to come down now because he's lived the Stafford experience longer than the city of Stafford existed. So, Mr. Katz, come down here and give us some brief words of wisdom.
Oh, he wants me to tell you something about Stafford. Well, the first thing is we had 3 mayors. They all had middle names. Now we got a junior. No middle name, just junior. In 1943, my folks came to Stafford and bought a little store called Stafford Mercantile. We stayed forever, I guess. We inherited from them a building. I bought 2 other buildings from the Vaquera family, and the rest is history. The only thing I can tell you, youngsters, about Stafford, stay around. You'll learn something. Thank you very much.
I have a couple of more introductions I want to make. I wanted to make sure everybody was here. Mayor Allen Owen, stand up. A tremendous mayor of his city and a tremendous friend and ally of Stafford all those years. No matter what you read, saw, or heard in all that fake media, the real story is Stafford worked with Missouri City and Missouri City worked with Stafford. Also, we worked very closely with the city of Sugar Land and the city of Meadows Place. So if you ever want to find the real facts, come talk to somebody that knows instead of the newspaper or TV. So the other is school trustee. Is that you, Ash? It is. Ash Hamarini is here. Huh? And trustee Greg Hosapple. All right, did I miss anybody?
How about your wife?
She was standing beside me. I know you didn't recognize her because there's been a lot of others, but that was the wife. Anyway, Sadie, what we got left to do?
Can we ask the Historical Society to please stand?
No, that's your job.
Okay, all right. At this time, would members of the Stafford Historical Society please stand?
Councilwoman Chin, you've got something? And then let me figure out while she's coming. We also have members of the Stafford Planning and Zoning. I saw one or two of them. There they are. And I think, is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
My name is Alice Chen. You just heard Mayor say, Stafford City is the most diverse city in this country. That's why I'm here. It's been 1 year, 5 months, 8 days since Mayor Scarcella passed away. Today, to me, it's very sentimental. Mayor Scarcella was my mentor. I'm sorry. This city, it's an amazing city. I always feel like it's God's will bring all of us together to make Stafford a better city. Mayor Scarcella, I met him 12 years ago. And he said, Alice, you do a good job for your Asian community. I want you to run for city council. At that time, I worked for Congressman Green as a liaison for 12 years. I said, Mayor, no. Stafford, there's no Chinese. Nobody gonna vote for me. But when I see all of you, Charlie, Corey, Mary Cole, you guys come vote for me. All these are encouragement for me to continue to work hard for this city. I mentioned to Congressman Green about this special event. And Congressman cannot come, he's in still Washington, but he sent his representative that I think he will send something to a living mayor, Cecil Willis, because Cecil Willis have a very difficult job since Mayor Scarcella passed away. And right now, the good news for everybody, I'll tell you this. All our city council works so hard. We still want to keep our property, zero property tax. But also, the general fund is getting better. We just hired 4 more police officers last week. So right now, I want all of you have a faith to our new mayor, Cecil Willis, and all the city council. So Sam, would you please come over to present something for Congressman Green office?
Sorry. In politics, you always do the whispering before the actual talking. So excuse me for that. Well, Mayor Cecil, my dear friend, former colleague, Council Member Alice Shan, Mayor Pro Tem, and dear friend from back in the days, Council Member Ken. I have many people in the council that I consider as my friends. It was a great honor and great eye-opener for me to see the families of 4 mayors. I mean, close to 100 years, I would say. 65 is almost 100. We have only had 4 mayors. So you make such great decisions in selecting your mayors that you don't even have to re-elect somebody else. So it's greatly amazing. However, I was just checking with Mayor Cecil. I saw the families, and it was amazing to see the members of the families of the mayors who are unfortunately not with us anymore. However, today the congressman wasn't able to make it in person. However, he has sent with me a certificate of special congressional recognition to the mayor who is here today to carry on with this great work that was done for close to a century, right? It's not easy shoes to fill. Mayor Scarcella, as we all know, was a great, great man. Mayor Owens was another one of them that I used to have the pleasure of knowing for many, many years. So I have brought with me a special certificate of congressional recognition, and this is to be presented to the Honorable Cecil Willis, Jr. However, I feel, and he agrees, that all the members of the family of the past mayors deserve a piece of this. So this is presented to Honorable Cecil Willis, Jr., Mayor, the City of Stafford, Texas, on the occasion of the mayoral commemorative plaque ceremony on behalf of the constituents of the 9th Congressional District of Texas, and this happens to be part of the 9th Congressional District as well. I, and that's Congressman Al Green, salute your dedication to serving the residents of the City of Stafford, Texas, as well as being recognized as the 4th mayor of the city by the Stafford Historical Society. Presented today, December 5th, 2021, Al Green, Member of Congress. Thank you, sir. You want to go in front?
Yep. What we're going to do, at your leisure, all the family members, we're going to stand in front of the plaques and take a picture with this proclamation, because this is for all of you. It's not me. I just happen to be here. This is for all of you.